This'll really knock your socks off.
I am Hotep, you are hedgehogs. We know not each other, but I'm
I just get a large popcorn.
Right, it is 11:22.
Nah, dude, it's 5:30.
Nope, it's 11:22.
Oh shit, I missed my movie.
Let's do this. Let's get this out of the way. Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews, where I get you caught up on the oldest movies. FoodFight. What do I need to say? I mean, it's one of those rare movies where looking at the title, or even watching the trailer, can just tell you how bad this movie was going to be. But first, let's talk a little bit of background, because that's actually the more interesting part than the movie itself. So, the movie was directed by the guy who worked on the Mortal Kombat movies. I forgot his name. He worked on the Mortal Kombat movies, but I forgot his name. He was working on an animated movie that was involving cereal mascots and food mascots that you'd see in the grocery store, very similar to what Toy Story or Sausage Party did. But delays, but get a load of this. After the delays, someone stole the original footage from the original footage. Someone stole the original footage of the film, and then the movie was gone. So of course they just had to try again and try to fix everything. So they tried it again. The movie was supposed to be released in 2002, but because of the fact that it was gone, they were still working on the project. It got delayed again until some rumors said it was supposed to be released in 2007 or 2008, but nothing came of that. Finally, in 2012, or probably around 2013, 2012, let's put it that way, 2012, they finally released it, and it became one of the most hated films of that year. I mean, at least in terms of animated films. It wasn't released in theaters, but it did get a DVD release, and I think a limited release in the UK. I could be wrong, but the movie was hated by critics and internet reviewers, so of course I had to step in, and you guys requested me to do this film, and since I'm going to be ending my show after 5 or 6 more episodes, I have to review this film before I start ending the show. So, without further ado, what's FoodFight about? So, you got Dex Detective, played by Charlie Sheen, who is in love with this cat girl that's so hideous, I don't want to even mention her name because I don't want to get it back in my head, who falls in love with Dex, and then she says that she's going away for a while. And then you got Chunky Monkey. I'm gonna start calling him Chunky Monkey because that's what he looks like to me. The Chunky Monkey. The Chunky Monkey says that she's gonna be away for a while, and while Dex was trying to propose to her. But a few years later, or months later, or something, Dex Detective is now owning a banana business, or I guess a club or something like that. It's very confusing. He owns a club, and then you got this woman who's trying to take over the store, while there's the subplot involving Christopher Plummer, or Christopher Walken, or Christopher Plummer, who is this weird guy that does this, who tells him that he's going to take over the store. And now it's up to Dex Detective and Chunky Monkey, I guess. I mean, that's all I can think of. Who must go on an adventure to stop this guy from taking over the grocery store. God, that was probably the hardest plot I've ever done. Okay, let's start with the negatives first, because there is a ton of the negatives. It's disturbing as all hell. I'll just let that out, because this is some of the worst animation I've seen in a long time. I mean, this is up there with Norm of the North standards. I mean, give Norm of the North this, and at least it had some good talent involved in it. FoodFight doesn't have any talent at all. I mean, just by looking at the backgrounds, the character designs, I feel like there was no effort put into it. The characters I could care less about. Some of them are either gross or stereotypical. Like I said, Chunky Monkey character, I can't remember his name. Like I said, I can't remember any of these characters' names. The movie was so bad, I can't remember any of the characters' names. You got this stereotypical scientist who pukes out, maybe not puke out, but sneezes out snot everywhere, and it's very gross. You got Chunky Monkey, who is obviously a pervert. Harold, the cat girl, who I forgot her name. Kitty or something. I forget about her name. She's disturbing, really disturbing. I guess the only character that stood out to me, and this is kind of an interesting fact for me. I think I'm the only one who would say this, but I think the only character that has a characteristics in them is Dex Detective. He's the one with the past. He's the one with the character. He's the one that we're supporting. But the problem is I can't support him because he's filled with nothing but food puns. Oh, Dex, it's like you freaking know me. Well, okay. Christopher Walken's okay. I mean, I hate the animation that they did with him with this crazy over-the-top characteristic that he's got, but I find him okay. As for the humor, it's gross and annoying. And probably sexual, because I spotted a few innuendos in there. I'm not going to say what they are because they're pretty stupid and kind of pointless, but they're just really bad. Okay, so overall, I know I haven't gotten too much deep in this, but I need to get this out of the way. Food Fight is the definition of awful. I mean, I guess some people would say it's a so bad it's good, like you want to look at it at a different point of view and say, oh, it's so bad, I'm actually really enjoying it because of how bad it is, kind of like The Room or Grown Ups 2 bad. But that's not what Food Fight is. Food Fight is a massive middle finger to animation. And that's why everybody's been talking about it the past few years. I know the popularity of its soulless marketing and its soulless reviewing has been stopped nowadays, but let's just say I just had to let this film out, so... Overall, Food Fight gets a 1 out of 10. I never cared for it. It was boring, it was stupid, it was perverted, it was gross. And basically, probably one of the worst animated films of the decade, like 2010 to 2019. So, that's my review of Food Fight. I'm sorry guys it's taking so long, but next time I'm going to go ahead and get my Christmas special out of the way. So what do you guys think of Food Fight, and what is the worst movie you've ever seen? Comment below, let me know, like, share, subscribe. This is LTM signing out, and I'll see you guys next time. It's almost over.
Oh. Sorry.